Hi, Parkway Manor. Welcome back for some more of Trouble with Chickens by Doreen Cronin. Last time we met some characters. J.J. Tully, the dog. If you remember, he was a search and rescue dog for 7 years. And we met a chicken named Millicent, except that J.J. thinks he should be called Mush. And then her little chicks named Little Boo and Peep, which for some reason J.J. Tully renamed Dirt and Sugar. Now, we've come across the problem of the story that two other little chicks, the brother and sister of Dirt and Sugar, are missing, and their names are Poppy and Sweetie. And JJ is supposed to help try to find them. Chapter 4 ended with it raining, and JJ saying, look, we've got to call off the search. It's raining. And of course, little Dirt and Sugar weren't happy, and Sugar said, hey, look, this is my brother and sister missing. You've got to help me out. Chapter 5, Chicken Scratch. The sky turned from gray to green to black. If the rain hadn't already washed off the scents of Poppy and Sweetie, it seemed the wood would have blown it away. After a short stroll in the hard rain, I decided to get back to my warm bed. I had had enough of this little chicken adventure. It was time for a nap after all. You know, the trouble with doghouses is they don't have doors. Mush, Dirt, and Sugar were just a few minutes behind me. Oh, you smell like a wet dog, said Sugar. I am a wet dog, I grumbled. Is this the search part or the rescue part, asked Sugar. She reminded me of a splinter I'd had once. It bothered me, and I was in a much better mood when it was gone. Before I could answer her, Mush waved a note in front of me. I found it in the chicken coop, cried Mush. Let me show that to you. And the note says, I have your peeps. It behooves you to rendezvous. Twilight, your place. Now, I don't know if you know the word rendezvous, but it means to meet up with someone. I tried to grab the note out of Mush's beak. That thing was sharper than it looked. I gave up my hold on the note. Two things were clear. Whoever had left that note had fast feet and a head full of big words. Chapter 6, Chicken Tears. Mush paced back and forth, back and forth. Sugar and Dirt followed behind her in the same oddly spaced line as before. I stood in front of Mush and brought her little chicken parade to a halt. Sometimes your gut can tell you more than your nose. This was one of those times. I could see from the look in her eyes that Mush was thinking about trying to get past me. I bared my teeth and moved in closer. That changed her mind. I've never backed down from a staring contest in my life, but her eyes were so tiny and close-set, it was making me feel cross-eyed. I was breathing in what she was breathing out. Her left foot was bouncing up and down, kind of like she was standing on a hot plate. She looked down at the note, then she looked down at Dirt and Sugar. When she finally looked up at me, her eyes were filled with tears. I'm no stranger to tears. The sad truth about search and rescue work is that there isn't always a rescue. So I'd seen plenty of tears before, but I'd never seen chicken tears, and I hope I never see them again. Mush's tears finally got the best of her. Her beak began to quiver. The note fell to the floor. I had what I needed. I didn't want to hold her precious note anyway. I wanted to sniff it. Sure enough, it reeked of one thing, the same chicken scent that I had been following before the storm. The trail was right under my nose. Chapter 7, Inside Job. Remember those spicy words, everybody? Behoove, rendezvous, twilight. Now, I've been lowered from a helicopter, strapped to a snowmobile, and flown first class to France to find a backcountry skier lost in the Alps. Not once did anyone find it necessary to use a big word like behoove. My bet was that a chicken the size of a golf ball probably wouldn't find using these big words necessary either. That note might have been covered in Poppy's and Sweetie's scents, but I was sure it was not covered in their words. Behoove, rendezvous, twilight. They were inside words, Words you only learn inside, where there are things like comfortable chairs and fresh lemonade. Not on a farm. Out here with the chickens and the dogs, we don't behove. I don't have a problem with big words, but there's a time and a place for them. A muddy note in a chicken coop? Yeah, that didn't seem like the right place for big words. Outside, the rain had gone from a storm to a standstill. I'd been so busy thinking about that note that I hadn't noticed the quiet. There wasn't enough breeze to ruffle a feather. Mush was staring at the note. I watched her eyes scan the page over and over as she read the note. "What does it mean?" asked Mush. I wasn't sure who she was asking. Sugar spoke before I could. "It means we need to be in the chicken coop by 6:30. Sugar's head wasn't filled with feathers, that's for sure. I was going to have to keep my eye on her. Right after my nap, that is. Okay, now wake me up at 6:25. Chapter 8, Detour. Our shadows were long and thin as we headed over to the chicken coop for our rendezvous. Dirt and Sugar were covered in mud and wet grass and napping in my empty food bowl. It looked like an Easter basket gone horribly wrong. It's time, Mush clucked. "We have to get to the chicken coop. Come on, come on." "Go on ahead, Mush. I'm going to keep an eye out from here." I had a hunch I should stay outside of the coop. I had a hunch once about a roast beef sandwich that I found in an alley in the city of Detroit. It didn't smell quite right, but I was hungry. I ignored the hunch and ate the sandwich. I woke up 3 days later, very sick, with an IV needle jammed into my front paw, courtesy of the Detroit Animal Clinic. Oh, that was one bad sandwich. The same little voice that I had ignored in Detroit was now telling me to stay outside. I stayed outside. Mush was not completely convinced that I wasn't going to ditch her as soon as her back was turned. I wasn't completely convinced myself. "Go on, Mush," I repeated. Dirt gave her mom a little tug and let her into the coop. Sugar stuck around just long enough to throw me a dirty look. I threw it back. I was walking away to find decent cover when the scent hit me square in the face. I may have actually tripped over it. It was the same scent that was all over that note. The rain hadn't washed away the chicken scent after all. But it also didn't lead to the chicken coop. It led to the house. Mush shot her head out of the coop. "It's 6:33. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they?" I had to put my paw over her face to can the clucking. Once again, I noted her sharp beak. "Mush, we've got a new development here." I held her beak closed with my paw and explained that the scent trail was leading right up to the house. I let go of her beak. "It can't be," she said again. "Noses don't lie," I answered. "But what about the note?" she asked. "Decoy," I grumbled. "But it doesn't make any sense." Before she could finish her sentence, a dark shadow appeared in the window. The shades were drawn, but you could clearly make out the silhouette. There was no mistaking that silhouette. Vince, the funnel. And that is where we are going to finish reading today, boys and girls. Tune in tomorrow for more of The Trouble with Chickens when we read Chapter 9, Vince the Funnel. Have a fantastic day, everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.